Buddy, it's Lyn from Lyn's Crafts. I've got a couple of fish dishes that I did recently. These have got primary elements on the surface. And this is the other one. Largemouth bass. And this one is a sun perch. Alright, I'll have patterns up on my blog. I'll try to put the link somewhere for both of these. Alright, I'm just gonna cut this one out. I've just cut the pattern out, stuck it down to the clay. This is Primo White. And then I'm just going to follow the pattern. Alright, so just trace around the pattern with your craft knife, keeping the blade horizontal, vertical at all times. Don't angle the blade. Alright, I'm going to finish this and I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, there are other detail lines on the pattern. I didn't do those neatly. I didn't do those neatly to encourage you to do them on your own. Alright? So, just pick a spot, go from the bottom to the bottom of the top fin, and from the tail fin to the bottom or top, however you want to see that, of the bottom fins. And this one I'm going to give it a gentle little curve. Alright? Then the tail, you're just going to V the tail like so. Alright? Now, little secret. For the eye, I used the end of my craft knife. Do his little mouth. And then I went around his eye. Just with a circle. It doesn't have to be exact. This is just a fun little fish dish. Alright. His gill. His other fin. Alright, and then just a little highlight line. Okay, as simple as that. Then just some lines to represent the bones in the fin. Alright, and if the little scraps that get rolled up when you use your marking tool, whatever you're using, a toothpick, knitting needle, whatever, just use a soft brush to brush them off. Alright. Now, as you can see, my clay is not clean. It doesn't matter to me. Alright. So, with the tail, alright, and then a few scales. You don't really want to do the scales all over, although you might. I didn't. Alright, just give him a hint of some scales. Alright, then the top fin. And again, I didn't make the lines go completely from top to bottom. I just randomly scored them. Alright, so there he is. Cute, fun little fish. Now, you can color him with mica powder, any kind, eyeshadow, Pearl X powders, perfect pearls, whatever your choice is. I did the primary elements, but on the sunfish, I mixed them in my glaze afterwards and painted them on after I baked it. You get a much richer color with more shimmer. Alright, on this one I put them on the raw clay and then glazed it after I baked it. Alright, the primary elements and most other mica powders will they will liquefy with the glaze. If you brush your glaze on in a single stroke, in other words, don't go back and forth, just a single stroke, you will interfere with the mica powders much less. Alright, that's just a little tip. Okay, so I'm going to bake this on my bowl. This is a Corelle bowl from Corning. I think it's called Corellware. I think I got it from Walmart. Had them forever. Alright, so it is extremely humid in my studio this morning. You can bake it on the back of the bowl or inside the bowl. Which I'm going to do inside. And I'm going to lay the tail back over the edge of the bowl, like I did on this one. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to bake this and I'll be back. Alright, here it is out of the oven. At this point you've got several options. You can glaze it just like it is, or I'm going to actually add another layer of polymer clay to the back side to give it a little more stability. Alright, so I'm going to roll out another sheet of clay and texture it and then add it to the back. Okay, Here he is baked, backed, and with a couple of little feet. He'll make a really cute little soap dish. If you do him in colored clay, you can use him just like this. You don't have to add sealer or anything. Alright, I'm going to add some mica powders. And this is the Surface Effects Making Waves set from Christy Friesen. If I can get them out. Alright, there's 3 mica powders and 2 glitters in the set. Alright. The glitters are kelp and Caribbean. The mica powders are Tide Pool, Reflections, and Tortuga. Felt like a pirate just then when I said that. Alright, so I'm just going to squirt a little bit of my sealer out on the glass. Alright. Then I'm going to mix I'm going to start with the Tide Pool. No, I'm actually going to start with the Reflections. Alright, you can see this is a very sparkly mica powder. It's very sparkly because the mica particles are larger. Alright, don't do this with a breeze, which I definitely have in here. Let me find a paintbrush. Alright, and I'm going to start out painting down here where his belly would be a lighter shimmery color. Alright, I'm not worried about going over the fin or anything like that right now. Alright, then I'm going to go just a bit down onto his fin. Same thing with the tail. And the upper one. Alright, and then I'm going to go right here where that highlight line. A little bit around his eye. And a little bit on his gill. Alright. Then I'm going to go with the Tortuga. Now I'm just going to mix it in to the same bit of sealer. That's why I started with the lighter color. Alright. Alright, and I'm gonna... Okay, that definitely needs more mica powder. Alright, and if you decide it's not dark enough to your liking, you can go back and add a second coat. Or like I said before, you can always add the mica powder directly to the raw clay. Alright, so now I'm going to add some of the Tide Pool. Getting the lid back on these little pots can be the hardest part. And if you feel like you need a bit more of the sealer, definitely add it. Alright. Alright, now you may be thinking to yourself right now, it looks like a hot mess. And I admit it does. But, take your little water bottle, if I still have enough in here, and you're going to give it a squirt. And let it run. Alright, then let it dry. You can use the heat gun. But I like to just let it dry on its own. If you feel like there's some spots where you'd like to add a little bit more, just go back and touch it up. Okay, here it is finished. It still needs to dry a bit, but I love the way it came out. Completely different from the other two. I love the variations you can get just using mica powders. You can put them on dry. You can add them to your glaze. You can add them to your glaze and spritz them with water, just like we just did. I love the ceramic kind of look it gives it. Alright? So, I'll try to remember to put the link to my blog somewhere around on the iCard. And I'll have the patterns listed there on my blog so you can download them for yourself. Alright? Thank you so much for watching.